Alright, Shalom Hebrews. This is a message. This is a message from the Israelite Brotherhood. Alright, Hebrews. You know, a lot of you Israelites, you understand what's going on in the East and how, that war that's taking place and how, it's a possibility that it can spread. I'm talking about the one that's in the promised land between Ashkenazi and those Edomites. It's only one way about it. If you're not Ashkenazi, then you're going to be an Edomite controlling the promised land. And they've been controlling the promised land since we abandoned heritage. And, the Edomites mix with all the tribes, the Moabites, the Ammonites, the Amorites, all the Canaanite tribes, and they become one, and those are the mixed peoples. You know what I'm saying? The Semitic peoples, the ones that they call Semitic. And that root word Semitic, I got a video explaining it how. Man, it means semi, half and half, and we know that Edom, made it with the Canaanite tribes and took on the Canaanite tribes who had a form of leprosy, Tazarat on them. They had Tazarat on them, and Edom went into them, forsaking his heritage and abandoning the oath given to Prophet Abraham that his descendants should, stay away from the Canaanite tribes and we inherit the land. Well, Edom didn't do that. So, Edom is infused with all the tribes, and they become, a mixture, and I'm going to give you guys a glimpse, of them, and then I'm going to explain, kind of what's going on, because you Israelites be kind of, confused about real history and so forth, because you've been accepting the myths that these people's been putting out since we abandoned heritage. And now these group of peoples would be considered Amorite, Edomite, Moabite, you know what I'm saying? All the ancient tribes that we didn't, get rid of became, fused, they fused into these peoples and become one. The Semitic stock, is, the root to them. But these are what they call Sephardists. But, they got many names. Our heritage fell to them during the Babylonian wars, as well as Edom getting control of our land. We was gone. So all those folks kind of like mix, meaning become one if they wasn't Ashkenazi. You know what I'm saying? Meaning if they wasn't Ashkenazi, who is of a Caucasian stock. You know what I'm saying? The Caucasian stock that mostly come from the north of us. You know what I'm saying? And what they would call Europe and so forth. This is Ashkenazi's homeland. Japhet homeland and so forth. And, they would come getting our heritage under the name Scythian when they was way on this side, and then they defeated Assyria. They defeated Assyria, and then they came, and chased us, you know what I'm saying, into Africa through the Babylonian Empire. They had control of the Chaldean nation. And they, came and kicked us out the land, but them being there was by order of the Creator. You know what I'm saying? He told them to chase us out. So, if they chased us out, then they probably ain't gonna go nowhere. And then I'm gonna try to explain in history what's been going on between the two groups that we abandoned our heritage to. We abandoned our heritage to the Sephardists and then Ashkenazi came and got infused in our heritage, but they really didn't get in good and strong, man, until the AD days after the Sephardi's were weakened by Japhet kids like the Greeks and the Romans and so forth. They weakened the Sephardi Amorite, Edomite groups that had our heritage. You know what I'm saying? That's like doing what's called Jesus time, the so-called AD times when it was a temple in the promised land, and we know that Herod built that temple, and then it was some synagogues everywhere. Have anybody ever thought who controlled those synagogues and who was in control of those synagogues and where those synagogues come from, and why wasn't even synagogues in the promised land if they had one temple? If they had one temple, what was the need for the different synagogues and so forth? Well, the different synagogues were because Ashkenazi was developing Israelite heritage with history and so forth, but that the Sephardi Edomites preferred a temple. Now that temple that we originally had was destroyed quite a few times before the Greeks got in and after the Greeks got in, and the old covenant that represented that the exiles from Babylon would have been under. Man, they was destroyed because they was mixing with the enemies and so forth. They was mixing with the enemies and could never get it right. I got videos going into the exiles history and so forth, and you should look into those videos because I explain what happened to the exiles from Babylon, how they was destroyed for trying to pass heritage off to those groups. Would have been there. They would have been there after we come from Babylon. They would have been there in the promised land when we went to Babylon, because they went to Sippar, where they're from. They went to Sepharvim, where they're from. They're Babylonian scribes, and they create false history about Israelite history. That's been their main job, the whole time, is to create false history about Israelite history. And their home is Sippar. Sippar, man, I just had the map. I don't know what I did with that map that I had showing where them folks from. They from Sippar. And them folks, man, we abandoned our heritage, man, to them during the Babylonian Wars. That's when they got into our heritage. They got into our heritage during the Babylonian Wars real good when we ran off to do the Egyptian religion. And we forsake the old covenant. We didn't want nothing to do with the covenant no more. And we gave our whole heritage, man, to them folks. Man, I had a map showing where they was from, but for some reason I can't seem to put my hands on it. Thought I had it close by, but they from Sippar. I just did a video, man, explaining where they're from and how they got into our heritage, as Amorites. And man, they've been in our heritage creating false Israelite heritage, man, forever. The whole world perception about Israelite heritage and history was developed off them folks first. I don't know what I did with that map. But anyway, these folks here are scribes, and the New Testament, they would have been in the temple that heard Bill, because they was one and the same people, and then they had synagogues, and that would have been Ashkenazi developing his Israelite heritage. You know what I'm saying? And then, meaning then those groups, meaning then would control, those groups would control, the Israelite heritage. They would control the Israelite heritage up to the day, and then they been at war with each other through proxy. They been at war with each other through proxy, trying to control the Israelite heritage in the promised land. I want to go and show that it's no way possible for Ashkenazi to defeat the Edomites, because that's who these people would be. That's who these people would be, and they would be Edomites, practicing the Israelite heritage. And then, we know that Edom would be on the Israelite land with control, with prophecies going all the way back to Prophet Obadiah. I'm going to read some of it. But yeah, man, Edom got infused in our land, and then really got officially into our heritage. He was already mixed with the peoples, the Amorites, the Sephardics that was claiming our heritage, but this is when he became official in 130 BC. In 130 BC, this Amorite Edomite named Harnicus converted all Edom to what's called Judaism. They converted to Judaism, and then that conversion would make them Edomites official Israelites in the records and in world history, and then they become fused with these folks. You know what I'm saying? They all one. That's why come in Arabic countries, these folks are seen as Israelites. These folks are seen as Israelites, and then in Western countries, these folks, are seen as Israelites, Ashkenazi. Y'all say he been at war for a long time. You know what I'm saying? He been at war of our heritage for a long time, fighting them Edomites in their proxy religions that they created. Islam is going to be a proxy religion that the Edomites created, because it was created in Arabia and so forth, where the Edomites that held our heritage live. It was Jewish tribes all throughout the whole Arabia. And how did they put that religion together? Like they responsible for all the religions in Babylon and all the other religions that spread from it. It wasn't nothing for them to put that together, and then they used that to fight against Christianity that Ashkenazi control, because Christianity see Ashkenazi as the Israelites. And I got videos showing how Christianity was created in the Discopolis cities. This is the head of the Discopolis cities, Scythopolis, and that's where Ashkenazi settled. And he would have synagogues throughout the whole New Testament in all the Discopolis cities and so forth. That'd be Ashkenazi under the name Scythian. They was getting their Israelite heritage in history together and building them some history and so forth. And then they would be at war by proxy with the Amorite groups the Amorite, Edomite groups that got our heritage, that's been in our heritage officially since I think it's 130 BCE, when this Edomite, Amorite converted all of them. Look, Harnicus initiated military campaign against the Edomites. During this campaign, he conquered all these spots, and Harnicus instituted, look, forced conversion on the Edoms to Judaism. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know, is that Edom was forced into Judaism. So now Edom, uh, got an Israelite heritage. Now Edom got an Israelite heritage and title, and then he got the land. Now he got the land. now he got the land. In the prophecy of Edom getting our land, see, if these folks are Edomites and they portraying to be Israelites, as they've been doing for thousands of years, and then we see that they, officially converted to what they call Judaism, which will give them, Israelite heritage and so forth. I explain in videos how that these folks created that 10 lost tribe stuff and then went everywhere converting folks, making them into Israelites, but they mostly converted the folks is in the east. In the east and so forth, and then those are the folks that they got under bricks right now, that's finna battle Ashkenazi for control of world currency. Ashkenazi control the West. Alright, Ashkenazi settled in the Scythopolis. Christianity gonna really be born there. All the bishops went there. Even the Holy Seas, the Roman Holy Seas was there. The Roman Holy Seas was first, that Madonna and Child, and then, Ashkenazi men start, pushing the Jesus thing and so forth. And then it went to the Council of Nicaea, up in Turkey and, places like that. But the Christianity started in the Scopolis cities. And Scythopolis was the head city, and that's what Ashkenazi was. So these two groups been fighting over the Israelite heritage for a long time. One of them furs with Edom. That's gonna be the Sephardists, the Sephardim, and they been there longer than Ashkenazi. Both of them pretending like that they the only Israelites, and that we real Israelites who abandoned heritage and went into Africa to do the Egyptian religion, as wrote in the book of Jeremiah. They call us Negroes, African Americans, and blacks, and they really know who we are. They know, but because that's why come they put all the schisms and things together to keep us out of heritage here in captivity, but it ain't working no more. All right, can Ashkenazi Japhet kids defeat Edom, that's been on the promised land since we abandoned covenant during the Babylonian wars? And then let's establish that, the Prophet Obadiah said Edom mean to be on the promised land. Prophet Isaiah said and was talking about Edom, sir, being destroyed off the land. The book of Jeremiah talk about Edom getting our land and so forth. So, if Edom getting our land, then Edom gonna try to portray himself as the Israelites, being that we real Israelites ran off into Africa to do the Egyptian religion. I got a lot of videos about that. But if we read Obadiah, and then, the minute it goes into, Almighty, y'all pissed off about them on our land because we got to come back to worship him. We got to come back to worship him. So if some other folks, men on our land, this was wrote 237 years Men, before we abandoned covenant, you know, in the book of Jeremiah 586 BCE, you know what I'm saying, we abandoned covenant. So this was wrote 230 years before we did that. And then when you read, this was wrote in 853 BCE. This was 100 years, man, before the book of Hosea. When we was in Assyria doing all kind of old stuff. I just made a video about that. But look here, the vision of a body. This the Elohim Yah concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor, you know what I'm saying, and then it goes down the pride of him and how he is deceived and so forth, and how, you know, the things Esau searched out are hidden, and many goes into in the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day, this is Obadiah 1:11. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was as one of them. But thou stoodest not, but thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger. Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Yeah, thou shouldest not have looked upon their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hand on their substance in the day of their calamity. Neither should thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape. Neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress. For the day of the Elohim is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thee own head. For as ye have drinking upon my holy mountain, so shall the heathen drink continually. Yeah, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though there have not been. But upon Zion shall be deliverance. There shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. In the house of Jacob shall be a fire, in the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau. So we know from what Prophet Obadiah say, Ashkenazi ain't got nothing to do with destroying the Edomites that's in the land that can't be in control when we come back home. Oh man, Almighty, y'all don't want Edom pretending to be an Israelite. Almighty, y'all don't want Edom to pretend to be an Israelite. That's why come we getting a new heart in a new everything, so we can see what's going on and we can understand our heritage. Almighty, y'all didn't want Edom to be in our heritage. You know, if Edom gonna lose possession, men of our land that he acquired during the Babylonian wars, then he ain't gonna be in our heritage, as stated by Prophet Obadiah about how Edom would get destroyed. Now, let me turn men to this, and let's see what Prophet Isaiah had to say about this. Let's see what Prophet Isaiah had to say about this. Man, where is that page? No, sir. No, sir is destruction. Yeah, Prophet Isaiah gave an oracle, man, about Edom, as well as Prophet Jeremiah and Prophet Ezekiel gave judgments, man, about Edom. Well, let's see what this thing. I hate when I see on first and then all the same. I know we'll do it like Yeah, so Edom ain't supposed to be in our heritage. Yeah, he ain't supposed to be in our heritage. Having a good time off the Israelite title and trying to make folks think that he got the blessings and so forth. All right. Let's see what it says concerning Edom. That'll be 21. 21. And that'll be 11. The burden of Duma, he called it out of the Sir, watchman of the wicked. Well, let's go to the book of Ezekiel. I know he talking about. Oh, the judgment of Sir. That's what I was looking for in the book of Isaiah. It's in the book of Ezekiel, but the prophet Isaiah gives some oracles about Edom too. And I'm going to go in and look. Moreover, the word of the Elohim came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it, and say unto it, Thus saith the Elohim Yah, behold it, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate, and I will lay these cities waste. Thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Elohim, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, you know what I'm saying, that's when they took our land over. And then them folks ain't been having no peace because Ashkenazi ain't letting them have no peace. Because Ashkenazi ain't been having no peace because they both fighting over the Israelite heritage. Therefore, as I live, said the Elohim, Yah, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Said, sittest thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. This will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passes out, and him that returneth. And I will fill his mountains with his slain men in the hills, and in thy valleys, and in thy rivers shall thy fall that are slain with the sword, and I will make thee a perpetual desolation, and thy city shall not return, and ye shall know that I am the Elohim, because thou hast said, these two nations and these two countries shall be mine. He talking about the northern and the southern parts, and they took our land during the Babylonian wars. These two nations and these two countries shall be mine, and we will possess it, whereas the Elohim was there. Therefore, as I live, said the Elohim Yah, I will even do according to thine anger, and according to thine envy, which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them, and I will make myself known among them when I have judged these. So they being judged now. We supposed to wake up to our Israelite heritage while the judgment is going on for Edom. You know, Ashkenazi is bringing it to him, but he ain't going to be able to defeat them. All right, this, let me see. And it shall be known that I, the Elohim, have heard all thy blasphemy which thou hast spoken against the mountains of Israel, saying, they are laid waste, they are given us to consume. This with your mouth ye have boasted against me, and have multiplied your words against me. I have heard them. This saith the Elohim Yah, when the whole earth rejoices, I will make thee desolate, as thou didst rejoice at the inheritance of the house of Israel, because it was desolate. So will I do unto thee. Thou shalt be desolate, O Mount Seir, all of Edom, even all of it, and they shall know that I am the Elohim. So, you know, Edom on our land. Edom on our land, and Edom been on our land since we abandoned heritage. And Edom is not Ashkenazi. Edom is not Ashkenazi. Image. Ashkenazi. Yeah, Edom is not Ashkenazi. Here go Ashkenazi. Let's see some images of it. Let's see some images of it. See, that's Ashkenazi. See, these Europeans. No, that's a Sephardi. All right, they the Caucasian stock of the Jewish heritage. That's gonna be mostly Ashkenazi right there. And Ashkenazi been in war with Edom for a long time over the Israelite heritage, but there's no prophecy for Edom to Ashkenazi to defeat Edom. And that how we Israelites gonna have to be responsible. You know what I'm saying for that. All right, this right here says, also thou son of man, prophesy unto the mountains of Israel, and say, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Elohim. Thus saith the Elohim Yah, because the enemy had said against you are even the ancient high places are ours in possession. Therefore prophesy and say, this saith the Elohim Yah, because they have made you desolate and swallowed you up on every side, that ye might be a possession unto the residue of the heathen, and ye are taken up in the lips of stalkers, and are infamy of the people. Therefore, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Elohim Yah. For this saith the Elohim Yah to the mountains, and to the hills, and to the rivers, and to the valleys, and to the desolate wastes, and to the cities that are forsaken, which became a prey, derision of the residue of the heathen that are round about. Therefore, this saith the Elohim Yah, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Edom. Look, meaning against all Edom, against all Edom which have appointed my land unto their possession with the joy of their heart. All right, so we know that Edom is there. Edom got our land. Edom got our land, and Edom is not Ashkenazi. Edom is not Ashkenazi. Edom gonna be claiming the Israelite heritage. He ain't gonna be trying to be the other folks in the world that the Israelites call Edomites, the Europeans, because these Edomites claiming the Israelite heritage because they get them right to the promised land. And then get them right to biblical history and so forth. Israelites don't understand that. And they just think all Caucasians or all non-pigmented peoples are the Edomites, and they so far from the truth. They're real far from the truth. All right, let's go to Isaiah 66. I want to see something that I was reading. 66. All right, what is it? 66, 19. And let's see what this say. And I will set a sign among them. This is about Ashkenazi bringing us home, because he not going to be to defeat Edom, and he going to stand a defeating loss, and he not going to be able to be in the Israelite heritage under Zionism if they don't bring us home, because Edom going to get them, and then we still going to come home some kind of way by the grace of Almighty Yah, and we still going to defeat Edom. But this is a sign right here that Japhet house and kids got to bring us home, as I made plenty of videos, and I was in the promised land explaining this, on video, how they got to bring us home. All right, man, if you go to Isaiah 66, and then you get to 18, and it says, for I know their works and their thoughts. It shall come that I will gather all nations and tongues, and they shall come and see my glory. That's what's going on now. And I will set a sign among them, and I will send those that escape unto them, unto the nations, to Tarshish, Paul, and Lud, and Georgia. That's Japhet kids' heritage and nations that they done conquered the Western nation, because we know that the Europeans took Japhet kids took over the west. So, in all the lands that, we in, it's going to be in Japhet kids' hands in the west. Well, we was taken to strange lands and so forth. For I know their works and their thoughts, and it shall come that I will gather all nations and tongues, and they shall come and see my glory. And I will set a sign among them, and I will send those that escape of them unto the nations, to Tarshish pool and Lud that draw the bow. That's going to be Ashkenazi. To Tubal and Javan, and to the isles afar off that have not heard my fame, neither have seen my glory, and they shall declare my glory unto the Gentiles, telling them we Israelites, and they shall bring all your brethren for an offering unto the Elohim out of all nations, upon the horses and in chariots and in the litters and upon mules and upon swift beasts to my holy mountain Jerusalem, saith the Elohim, as the children of Israel bring an offering in a clean vessel, saith the Elohim, and I will also take of them for priests. So Ashkenazi, that's that's Ashkenazis, that's Japhet kids, Tarshish, and Tubal and Javan and all them folks. They supposed to come and get us and bring us home. And then let's read Isaiah 49. It'll kind of give you a sense of this. All right. Listen, O owls, unto me, and hearken, ye people far off. The Elohim hath called me from the womb, and from the bowels of my mother had he made mention of my name. And he had made my mouth like a sharp sword, and in the shadow of his hand had he hid me, and made me a polished shaft. In his quiver had he hid me. And he said unto me, Thou art my servant, O Israel, in whom I will be glorified. Then I said, I have labored in vain, I have spent my strength for naught in vain. Yet surely my judgment is with the Elohim, and my work with my Yah. And now saith the Elohim that formed me from the womb, to be his servant, to bring Jacob again to him. Though Israel be not gathered, yet shall I be glorious in the eyes of the Elohim, and my Yah shall be my strength. And he said, It is a light thing that thou shouldest be my servant, to rise up the tribes of Israel, the tribes of Jacob, and to restore the preserved of Israel. I will also give thee for a light to the Gentiles, that thou mayest be my salvation unto the end of the earth. This said the Elohim, the Redeemer of Israel, his Holy One, to him whom men despise, to him whom the nations abhor, the servants and rulers, kings shall see and rise, and rulers and princes, all shall worship, because the Elohim that is faithful, of the Holy One of Israel, and he shall choose thee. This said the Elohim, in an acceptable time have I heard thee, and in a day of salvation I have helped thee, and I will preserve thee, and give thee for a covenant of the people, to establish the earth. Meaning that when we come back into our heritage, the entities that's destroying the earth, the proxy wars between Ashkenazi and Sephardi over the Israelite heritage, has been devastating to the earth, that it's going to come to an end. All right. To cause to inherit the desolate heritage, that thou mayest say to the prisoner, Go forth, and to them that are in darkness, show thyself. They shall feed in the way, and their pastures shall be in all the high places, and they shall not hunger nor thirst, neither shall the heat nor sun smite them. For he that hath mercy on them shall lead them, even by the springs and water shall he guide them. And I will make all my mountains a way, and my highway shall be exalted. Behold, these shall come from far, and these shall come from the north, and these from the west, and these from the land of synonyms. Synonyms supposed to mean the land of forests and trees and so forth. And that's what, America was. Sing, O heavens, and be joyful, O earth, and break forth into singing, O mountains, for the Elohim hath comforted his people, and will have mercy upon his afflicted. But Zion said, The Elohim hath forsaken me, and Elohim hath forgotten me. That's how some of them feel. Can a woman forget her suckling child that she had should have compassion on the son of her womb? Yeah, they may forget, yet will I not forget. Behold, I have graven thee upon the palms of my hands. The walls are continually before me. The children shall make haste, thy destroyer, and they that made thee waste shall go forth of thee. Lift up thine eyes round about, and behold, all those gather themselves together and come to thee. As I live, said the Elohim, thou shalt surely clothe thou shalt surely clothe thee with them all as with an ornament, and bind them on thee as a bride doeth. For thy waste in thy desolate places in the land of thy destruction shall even now be too narrow by reason of the inhabitants. All them Hispanics and all them folks they done let in on us. It's just like prophecy say, and it's going just like prophecy say if you understand history and so forth. And they let all them folks up on us, and we in this state now. The children which thou shalt have after thou hast lost the other shall say again in thine ear, the place is too straight for me. Give place to me that I may dwell. You know what I'm saying? But we need us a place. We need our own homeland. We need to be in our own place so we can worship Almighty Yah. And they know this. Look, then shalt thou say in thine heart, who had begotten me these? We're waking up, seeing I have lost my children, and am desolate, a captive, and moving to and fro. And who had brought up these? Behold, I was left alone. These, where had they been? This said the Elohim Yah, behold, I will lift up my hand to the Gentiles and set up my standard to the people, and they shall bring thy sons in thy arms, and thy daughters shall be carried upon thy shoulders, and kings shall be thy nursing fathers, and their queens thy nursing mothers, and they shall bow down to thee with their face toward the earth, and lick up the dust of thy feet, and thou shalt know that I am the Elohim, for they shall not be ashamed that wait on me. So, you know what I'm saying? So, them folks gonna have to take us home. They gonna have to bring us home. They gonna have to bring us home. And it's gonna be Japhet kids. You know what I'm saying? Because they the ones that ran us out during the Babylonian Wars. They ran us out during the Babylonian Wars. But it's nowhere in Scripture that Ashkenazi is to defeat the Edomites. And he in the battle with the Edomites for his existence on the promised land right now. So Ashkenazi gonna have to wisen up and say, hey, let's bring the children Israel in, the real children Israel in. And then we supposed to have the knowledge of what happened to us in the Tanakh as it's recorded to resist these folks from telling lies about our Israelite heritage and so forth. You know, we supposed to be able to resist them from telling lies about our Israelite heritage, because they converted a lot of folks and made them into Israelites and didn't include us none at all. At all. None at all. Alright, Israelites, let me see what else I can get in here. Let me see what else I can get in here. What's that, 49:22? 49:22. Let's see what I put there. Yeah, Ashkenazi not going to be able to defeat Edom and get Edom out the promised land, even if he pretending and playing like he an Israelite. And then I'm going to show you, folks, that Edom and Ashkenazi is not together. They is not together. They is not together with this Israelite heritage. They is not together. Alright. You see this right here. Let me see if I can get this a little close. Alright. The Sephardic idea has always been understood in the terms of political moderation and community unity. Rarely did Sephardim lose their internal cohesion, that is, until the process of cultural erosion set in, following the Ashkenazi lead. See, they been in proxy war with our heritage. One want to do it this way, and another one want to do it somewhat similar to the old way that we had to be them Sephardics. All right, let me see. That is, until the process of cultural erosion set in following the Ashkenazi lead, Sephardim abandoned their traditional culture and adapted to the fractious Ashkenazi model under the rubric of a single Jewish nation. The Sephardi, particularly with its cultural genius and sophisticated social morals, that's because he come from Babylon, and he set up Babylon in the whole administrative structure and how the West functioned. They brung it to the West. You know, Rome was infused with Babylonian culture and so forth. All right. The Ashkenazi culture, with its deeply unsettled relationship to the larger world, has now become the Jewish standard. You know, so the Sephardi particularity with this cultural genius and sophisticated morals has become a lost value. They trying to get it back. They trying to get it back through their proxy religion that they created. That if they kick Ashkenazi and drive him out the promised land, then they can say what the Israelite heritage should be. And then that's what they trying to get to. That's what they want to do. But I believe Almighty Yah gonna bring us back home, man, before they get a chance to set all this stuff up. You know, that's like the Palestinians wanting a state. But the state that they want would be over the Israelite heritage where we have to settle. Where we have to settle. And that can't be. So that's why Ashkenazi gonna have to wake up and come on and bring us home, as scriptures say that Japhet kids would do. You know. Alright, Israelites, this is a message from the Israelite Brotherhood. I pray that this video made some sense to you.